What's up, people? This is Big Boss Calvin 83. I'm going to give my honest thoughts and opinions on the concert bombing that happened out in Manchester, England, the UK, and Kathy Griffin's stunt that she pulled, where she posted an image of herself holding Donald Trump's decapitated head. And I thought it was funny. And I actually, to be honest with you, let's start talking about that, because I actually liked it. And I don't see what's the big deal. Seriously, people, I don't know why people are in their fucking feelings, because it's really sad and pathetic how the hypocrisy of Caucasian people, specifically. When Ted Nugent made jokes about killing Barack Obama when he was president at the time, where was the outrage at? Especially in America, and in America and England, and between America and the UK, where was the outrage at specifically? In those countries, and even around the world, where was the outrage when Ted Nugent and all these other Caucasian people, joking about killing Barack Obama as the so-called black president, even though I consider him a mulatto, because he didn't do shit for so-called black people. But now I digress. So that's a whole different subject. Where was your outrage at then? I don't see what Kathy Griffin jokingly posting an image and showing, technically how she feels about holding a severed head, a head that was chopped off, off a mannequin of Donald Trump, and people getting upset. Mind you, you had when in America, when there was nooses planted, when you have nooses planted of so-called black people being hung, you have blackface going on. Nobody gives a shit about that. I don't see no outrage, specifically from you Caucasian folks. There was some lynchings that were going on recently that didn't make the news, but y'all want to call it a fucking suicide when it fucking happens. You're very dismissive and racist as hell. How dare you motherfuckers tell us how we as so-called black people should fucking feel about when y'all go through some bullshit. Y'all tell us to turn the other cheek and forgive and move the fuck on, but meanwhile, mind you, y'all want to say this to let the past be the fucking past. My thing is, when the bombing happened, and I don't think the suspect or suspects, who are usually specifically Arab, it's funny how y'all Caucasians, male or female, and children like to paint so-called black people as fucking thugs. Meanwhile, you want to paint Middle Eastern people, specifically the Arabs, as fucking terrorists. You want to paint Mexicans as illegals. And then when y'all have, I don't know what y'all do for Asians, but it can go, y'all can paint, sometimes y'all paint them as illegals, but most of the time, y'all make jokes about SARS and the nasty diseases and cleanliness and all that shit. And then when a couple Asian people come, you see a couple Asian people, y'all want to talk about the Asian invasion and how y'all losing your fucking country. I really don't get it with you folks. The fact of the matter is, I see it like this. I don't know why y'all going up in arms about, let's just say for shits and giggles, if this is true, about a Middle Eastern guy, or I don't know how many, but specifically a Middle Eastern guy bombing, a concert. I don't see what the big deal is. Oh, how can you say that, Calvin? It's so cold. That's so cold-hearted. Well, y'all fucking cold-hearted when that bitch, I forgot, Officer Shelby shot that unarmed brother. I don't know if it's in the South or the Midwest, but I don't know if it was in Iowa or Idaho. when she got off and lied that she killed in self-defense out of concern, which is bullshit. Cops do not kill people of color in self-defense. They're usually the fucking offenders. And everybody giving her donation money. Y'all did the same shit. When George Zimmerman, you know, he's half, y'all want to say he's half Latino, miss me that crap because his father is fucking Jewish. It's Caucasian. And he got a Caucasian supremacist mindset. If he was so-called Hispanic, why would you Caucasian folks donating millions of dollars to George Zimmerman when he killed Trayvon Martin? And you rationalize and excuse his actions for racial profiling. The dispatcher, he had no business calling the cops because Trayvon Martin was just walking to his, I think, daddy's house. You know what I'm saying? You know, just with Skittles and iced tea. And then you motherfuckers talk about he should fucking comply. You don't have to fucking comply. Because let me tell you, mind you, if that was if a so-called black person or another ethnic person of color, black or brown person, would have followed a Caucasian kid and shout him down in cold blood, y'all being up in arms, especially when he got the fuck off. And if so-called black people and other ethnic people of color were donating millions of dollars so he can get off, y'all be talking about, oh, yours, your humanity and all that shit. You Caucasian folks need to drink a hot glass of shut the fuck up because y'all fucking hypocrites. When y'all made George Zimmerman an honorary Caucasian male, when Sandra Germain was fucking killed, y'all made excuses for the cops. Well, she should have complied. She can do whatever the fuck she wants to do in her fucking car. If she wants to smoke a fucking cigarette over a traffic stop, that's her damn business. And for that cop to open her car door, which was just against the law, and threaten to tase and threaten to kill her on camera, and he get off on that, and she got lynched in prison. And y'all are cool with that. No outrage from the feminists, no outrage from the gay people, no outrage from the bisexual and transgender community, no outrage from the fucking Asians, no outrage from the fucking Hispanics and Latinos, no outrage from the Middle Easterners and these other ethnic groups, no outrage, no fucking outrage for that woman. When Karen Gaines got murdered, no fucking outrage. When the cop, I'm likely got the fuck off for killing a woman. Where did the feminists at? When Makia Boyd got murdered, Renisha McBride got murdered by cops or other Caucasian supremacists. No outrage from these other groups who like to say that their struggle is just like the so-called black struggle, which is fucking bullshit. Okay, when Tamir Rice got gunned down for having a toy fucking gun, and the excuses and rationalization that you people have for excusing that racist ass cop, that was a fucking hate crime and brutal murder. When I saw the tape myself, and y'all like to victim blame us. Well, he should have never been playing. He should have never been outside playing in the fucking playground with a toy gun. Are you fucking serious? Meanwhile, you got Caucasian males, kids bringing knives and guns to schools and stabbing kids and shooting up and killing kids and teachers, and the guidance counselors and the other administration and the principals. Oh, what y'all do, what you Caucasian people do, y'all make excuses. Oh, he had mental illness, issues. Oh, he was abused as a child. He had a bad upbringing. Y'all, I'm so sick and tired of the fucking selective outrage. When you had, there was some articles I was reading. 2 Caucasian females in 2 different places, 2 different states, talking about they want to do the next Columbine. What is the to you Caucasian people, I got a question. What is the fascination of shooting up schools, bombing buildings and shit, and dropping bombs on other nations? I like to know, why do y'all get off on that? And when y'all are confronted with your crime and you cause pain and destruction and death on other people, why do y'all make excuses instead of taking personal responsibility? Why do you always say, I had a mental mental issues. Like, you know, like other people don't have mental issues. I got mental issues, but I don't do shit like that. But I'm accused of doing shit like that when I talk about how I fucking feel on camera. Okay, you tell me. When, okay, I don't fucking understand you folks because, or they had a bad childhood. Are you fucking serious? When you're a Caucasian kid growing up in so-called white suburbia, and your first car is a brand new car, when you turn 15 or 16, or how old you are old enough to fucking legally get your driver's license, how hard is it? How hard did you fucking have it? Meanwhile, you have other kids who don't have a fucking car or fucking taking the fucking bus, or parents can't afford to buy them new clothes and shit, and they're struggling, and they can't go to Disneyland or Disney World or go travel abroad and shit. And you talk about you have a fucking hard. Are you fucking kidding me? Or you don't? I mean, y'all don't get. I mean, the thing is, you're talking about Caucasian kids having a hard life. Were you fucking bullied, racially bullied, and terrorized in school like I was? You don't want to go there. And you don't know what it's like to have a woman lie on a girl or a woman falsely accuse you of something, specifically a sex crime, and you get in trouble for it. And then meanwhile, you got the facts to prove that you're fucking innocent, and they don't want to see the fucking proof. And they don't want to fucking apologize to you, and because when they fucked up and they know they did, and they didn't give a fuck. You got Caucasian kids bullying other kids, and that's excusable. Let's talk about, you know, I never did a video on this, but I'm planning on putting a project together in the future. When Michael Speed was bullied by that Caucasian kid, and how that Caucasian male threatened to kill Michael Speed, talk about killing his family, making racist jokes, and then when Michael Speed had enough and stood up for himself, he gets in trouble for it and gets fucking suspended. But everybody was looking at the Caucasian kid, calling him a black piece of shit. And y'all when he took that kid down and just grabbed his backpack and pulled him fucking down. Everybody's everybody wants to paint Michael Speed, the kid, the so-called black male kid, as the fucking villain of the story. You can't. I mean, Caucasian people, you gotta stop fucking with people. You gotta stop. You gotta leave people the fuck alone. And I'll continue. When Mike Brown was fucking killed by Darren Wilson, by that fucking racist cop, y'all gave him millions of dollars to get off. And you know he fucking lied and talked about, oh, he was grabbing his fucking gun. How can a kid have his arms up and be like a foot away from you? Let's just say like 10 feet away from you, 10 feet or 10. I don't know if it's 10 feet or less. Or he got to be. Let's just say like damn near like 5 feet away from you, 5 feet or more away from you. And how can he grab your fucking gun and he's unarmed and he got his hands up and you shooting him down, and then all of a sudden you want to come up and talk about, oh, I fucking made the shit up. Meanwhile, you don't get no fucking jail time. That is white privilege. No, but you racist Caucasian people, all y'all fucking racist. Yeah, I said it. Until the good Caucasian people call this shit out and start destroying the system of Caucasian supremacy, all y'all racist until you're guilty until proven innocent. Oh, you don't like it? That's tough shit. Because when a so-called black person is accused of something, particularly a so-called black man, he's guilty until proven innocent. And when he is proven innocent, y'all still want to keep his ass in jail. Or you want to give him the fucking electric chair just because you can. You know what I'm saying? I can go on and on. When Freddie Gray was murdered, when you got other people murdered, Eric Garner murdered, everybody talking about he had loose cigarettes. But meanwhile, mind you, nobody looked in his pockets and found out he didn't have no cigarettes on him, but the cop was fucking with him. But y'all made excuses for that. Oh, he got off. These cops are killing people of color, so-called black men, and specifically more so, and children, and sometimes so-called black women, and some of these cops are raping so-called black women, and at the same time sodomizing so-called black men and raping the fuck out of them. Oh, there's no outcry for that shit. But what kills me about Caucasian people who talk about blue lives matter, all lives matter. Well, all lives matter. How come y'all speak about when the stuff that I mentioned? Where were all lives matter at? Where were all lives matter back in slavery? Where were all lives matter back in Jim Crow and the Civil Rights Movement? None of y'all didn't want us to have fucking equal rights, and we still don't have no goddamn rights. Y'all benefit off of affirmative actions, specifically the Caucasian female and gay people who are Caucasian, not black people, Caucasian people. Okay? But there's no, when you got Caucasian males, Caucasian, and sometimes females, fight cursing out cops, putting their hands on cops, making terroristic threats against cops, shooting at cops, and killing cops in the fucking process. Oh, I don't see you motherfuckers donating millions and millions of dollars to the people who lost their loved one. That cop that usually a man who can't provide for his family because he's fucking dead. Well, how come you're not donating millions of dollars to that family, to that cop's family? How come you're not making sure that that Caucasian person who killed that fucking cop gets to fucking do life in prison, be underneath the jail, and get the fucking electric chair for killing the fucking cop? Since your motherfuckers love cops. Or when cops expose corruption within the fucking police force, or somebody who work for the CIA, FBI, and government expose corruption, ego, and expose how racist these agencies are, and these government agencies are. Oh, when they get death threats, when they're getting harassed and getting ran off the goddamn road, or they motherfuckers setting their houses on fire. Oh, I don't see y'all motherfuckers saying all lives matter, especially when the Caucasian people speaking up, calling out racism and exposing Caucasian supremacy. I don't see all you other Caucasian folks backing them up. Oh, because they're not killing niggers, so it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then you want to talk about, oh, the tragedy that happened out in London, Manchester, wherever the hell it happened out in the UK. Oh, it's so tragic. Oh, but when so-called black people got bombed out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, Florida, Springfield, Illinois, and don't you dare say it's the fucking past. No, because because y'all don't tell Jewish people to get over the fucking Holocaust and let the past be the past. Y'all don't say that shit. You don't tell Japanese people to get over the fucking past. Y'all gave them reparations. Y'all don't tell Native Americans what you call the American Indian, the so-called American Indian, to get over the fucking past. Y'all don't say that shit. You'll give them reparations and give them some land, and that's it. But mind you, my people, my ancestors ain't got a fucking penny from you motherfuckers for free fucking labor that they were forced to do. Not chose to do, forced to fucking do. And then you try to change the history books and say, well, they were immigrants and they chose to work to be a fucking slave. Y'all motherfuckers are so evil and so fucking toxic. I hate you motherfuckers. Yeah, I said it. I hope the Caucasian populace die and burn in hell back in their fucking caves in the Caucasus Mountains. That's how pissed off I am when I think about this shit. Where was the outrage when Rosewood, Florida, Springfield, Illinois, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and these other prosperous so-called black towns when they were thriving in the Jim Crow era, y'all, when they got burned the fuck down due to some racist ass bitch making a false accusation against a so-called black man, specifically a fictitious black man. Oh, there was no outrage when a Caucasian female had consensual sex with a so-called black man. She lied and said it was fucking rape when it did not fucking happen. Meanwhile, mind you, you had Caucasian males raping so-called black women all day. Oh, but I didn't see no women's groups march for her. Make sure she get justice. Make sure that fucking pale-skinned monkey, faggot-ass male get jail time or get underneath the jail for rape. You don't see so-called black women falsely accusing Caucasian males of rape, or making a false claim of domestic violence, making a falsely accusing of a fictitious Caucasian male of a sexual assault, battery, and fucking rape. That don't fucking happen. Where's the outrage when all the other tragedies out in Arkansas, out in Alabama, like the church bombing, when dogs were sicked on so-called black people for marching and being sprayed with fire hoses and getting beat up and killed by the fucking cops and by these other Caucasian terrorists, these fucking Caucasian folks? Where were the outrage at? Where were all lives matter at? We're on these, and they all like to say, well, you have Caucasian people marching with black people. Get the fuck out of here. That you're talking about a select few? Are you fucking serious? Meanwhile, mind you, when those Caucasian people were actually bold enough to speak out against racism and Caucasian supremacy and acknowledge that they had white privilege and wanted to use the privilege to make sure everyone was treated fairly and equal, especially specifically to so-called black people, y'all fucking lynched them too, and y'all fucking killed most of them. Most of them, and these Caucasian people who were down, so supposed to be down for civil rights and shit, excuse me, these same Caucasian people did not try to destroy the system of Caucasian supremacy. They did not try to end racism. No, they just took a different approach. These same Caucasian people who claim to be good Caucasian people, non-racist, these are the same motherfuckers who do not want their daughters to date the so-called black man and the so-called black woman to date the so-called Caucasian, so-called white man. Let me say that one more time. I'll say that again. These Caucasian people are at the same time did not want the ones who claim to be non-racist to fuck. They didn't want their kids to fuck with so-called black girls and black women, and they didn't want, specifically the sons to fuck with so-called black girls and black women, and they didn't want their daughters to fuck with so-called black boys and black men. You know, young or old, and have mixed kids and have so-called. They didn't want their children to have an interethnic relationship with a so-called black person, and then didn't have a so-called black spouse. But and these same Caucasian people who claim to be non-racist and talk about so-called black people should deserve civil rights. These same motherfuckers did not want us to get reparations. They didn't try to end Caucasian supremacy, and they not try to stop racism. You understand? The Caucasian, when it's funny when Caucasian people even march for so-called black people, the thing is, I don't see cops harassing them and terrorizing them. I don't see other Caucasian people terrorizing these other Caucasian people who are down for so-called, claim to be down for so-called black people, and they march with them and they protest. But my thing is a waste of fucking time for Caucasian, and Caucasian people should not be protesting with so-called black people, because my thing is, if they really wanted to end racism, they will make sure laws will fucking change. They can change it. Especially that Caucasian female. She can get a lot of shit changed. Okay? And the whole reason why some of these Caucasian people were marching with so-called black people, from my take, is the fact they had a different agenda. Because that's when they brought in the feminist movement, behind the civil rights movement. Especially that Caucasian female had a different agenda, so she can have more rights, more freedom, and more privilege without the damn responsibility. Okay? She wanted to be equal to her Caucasian male counterpart. That was it about. Caucasian females benefit more from affirmative action than any other group. And she's a minority when she's actually the majority in America. Okay? Gay people getting shit, and these other brown ethnic people of color getting shit, but so-called black people don't get shit, especially the so-called black man. And that ain't fucking right, y'all. I really don't give a fuck about a bunch of Caucasian kids getting murdered by a fucking bomb. Fuck them, let them kids rest in hell. Yeah, I said it. Because when children of color, when so-called black children are getting killed and terrorized, and their parents are getting killed, terrorized, their relatives are getting killed, terrorized, raped, sodomized, tortured, brutalized, and lynched, and be victims of genocide, hate crimes, and murder and shit. Oh no, but the media don't talk about that shit. Oh, it's our fucking fault. Y'all victim blame us. And that's why I'm saying, that's why I gotta say fuck everybody, because my thing is, when so-called black men are getting killed, there's nobody bats the eyelash. Where's all lives matter at? But no, where's all lives matter at? Where's the National Organization for Women when so-called black people, men and women and children, are getting harassed, getting terrorized, getting bullied, getting molested, getting assaulted, getting and being victims of battery, getting raped and getting lynched and killed? Where all lives matter at? Where's the all national organization for women? Where's these feminist groups at? Where's the LGBT community at? Where the gay people at? Where's the gay community? Where's the Hispanic community, Latino community? Where's the Asian community? Where's the Indian community? And where's the Arab community? These other Middle Easterners, the Middle Eastern community at? Where's these other groups at? And where's these so-called white liberals at? When we're getting harmed, when we're getting tortured, when we're getting brutalized, when we're getting lynched, when we're getting castrated, bodies mutilated, getting inhumanely tortured and killed in cold fucking blood, where are y'all at? You know, these motherfuckers say the most heinous, racist, bullshit, ignorant ass shit there is. They want to talk about, oh, the reason why most Caucasian people voted for welfare and Medicaid and Section 8 to be cut off, but these idiots don't fucking realize is that the majority of people who are on public assistance and on welfare and on food stamps is single Caucasian mothers specifically and other Caucasian people, but specifically that Caucasian female. But the stupid part is about Caucasian people who are Trump supporters, and Trump was elected. He was not elected, so let's not get it twisted. And some of you coons who supported that shit, y'all a damn fool. And even if you voted for Hillary, and whether you voted or not, I'm not gonna tell you what I'm not even gonna get into. I mean, my thing is even when my family pressured me to vote on all that stuff, I try to tell them the truth, the real deal is. I'm like, they don't want to hear it. I get all types of shaming language and all that shit, and blah, and my patriotism is questioned the fuck out. And when I hear stupid ass Negroes, I'm gonna go back to Caucasians in a minute. This is a side note. When I hear Negro-peans, because that's what you are. When the Negroes, I call y'all Negro-peans because you got a Caucasian supremacist mindset. Talk about our ancestors died for the right to vote. No, they were fucking murdered, you idiot. You idiots. Okay? But my thing is, I mean, it's Caucasian, when cops are murdering and harming and killing our people, and other Caucasian people are terrorizing, bullying, harassing, and assaulting and battering and raping and killing our people, specifically people of color like myself, nobody says anything. When bombs are being dropped in our fucking community, when guns are being when these motherfuckers bring drugs and guns, and then all of a sudden, and we getting shot down by these terrorist groups such as the cops, the fucking government, and these skinheads and all these other groups. The biggest terrorist is the fucking United States government. The biggest terrorist is the KKK, not ISIS, not Al Qaeda. No, it's the Caucasian people. Don't be fooled by when they try to paint Arab people and so-called black people as terrorists and thugs. When they try to paint Mexicans as fucking illegals, when you got Caucasian foreigners coming in here illegally. When you got other groups coming in here illegally, but even if these other ethnic people, even these illegal aliens happen to be people of color specifically, guess what? As long as their hair is a little bit straighter and their skin is a little bit light brown, they'll let them slide and give them perks. But if you're African, they really don't give you shit. You know what I'm saying? If you are the so-called black person, African American, Nubian person, melanated person, the darker you are, the more likely you're gonna strike out. The more likely you're not gonna get nothing. And that's real talk. I really don't give a fuck about a bunch of Caucasian kids getting fucking murdered. Why should I fucking care? Why is it making the fucking national news? Meanwhile, you got my people getting murdered. I remember years ago where in Mississippi, actually recently there was a lynching in Mississippi. There was a lynching out in the Northwest. And there was a lynching out in North Carolina, where I'm at. Where was the outrage at? And why is it when we are murdered it's always our fucking fault. Oh, if we would have just complied and be quiet. And even when we are quiet, well, you know, if you feel like your rights are being violated, you need to speak up. And then when we speak up, you kill us anyway. So basically, if we suffer in silence, you kill us. And which you shouldn't do. I don't believe in suffering for silence. I will not suffer in silence. And people of color should not suffer in silence when there's injustice going on. And we should not cower down and kiss their fucking ass and suck Caucasians' dick and eat their coochie just to get acceptance. This is why I don't believe in some of you swirls out there should be fucking with the Caucasian female and the Caucasian male. Even if you're bisexual. And that's why I don't believe you should have Caucasian friends. If they're not willing to destroy the system of Caucasian supremacy, if they're not willing to end racism, if they're not speaking out, and they're not checking out the Caucasian people who are racist, and they're not doing anything to intervene and stop Caucasian people who are parents or the aunts and uncles and other relatives and grandparents and great-grandparents teaching their kids to be fucking racist against people of color, specifically black people. If they ain't doing that shit, I don't want to be your fucking friend to you Caucasian people. I don't want to fucking date you if you're a Caucasian chick if you ain't checking your fucking people who are fucking evil and wrong and ratchet and got that much hate for a group of people who done nothing to you. You understand? You know, why should I give a fuck? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was some. And I've been out. I mean, I've been to London. You know, when I was a kid, I lived out in London. Believe it or not. And my brother recently traveled to London. Yeah, there's other ethnicities other than Caucasian people. There's brown people out there. You know, there's other people of color out there. There's so-called black British people out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they were killed in the Manchester concert bombing. And you know, unfortunately for them, y'all rest in peace. If y'all were killed like that and y'all injured, I hope y'all get better. But as far as Caucasian folks, I really don't give a fuck about y'all. I really don't. Why should I care? Meanwhile, when shit is going on, and this is the problem, and then you got these celebrities, these culture vultures, these so-called non-blacks who try to assimilate and try to fit in with Caucasian people, who try to be all Eurocentric and shit. And these other culture vultures who are Caucasian, who talk about, we gotta help people, we gotta care about people. Fuck y'all and that. That's a PR move so y'all can so people can buy your fucking records, buy your fucking products, and buy your fucking books if you're planning on writing them. That's all y'all just trying to get more popularity off of a fucking tragedy and make more money and profit. And that's fucking sick as hell. You motherfuckers are fucking sick as hell to do that, to make money off of people's blood and death. To make money off of people's death, to make money off of people's to make money off of other people's tragedies and ills, and the fact that they were murdered. Which is what I kind of starting to think that the whole Manchester bombing was an inside job, because they always have this racist narrative. There's always a Middle Eastern person, an Arab person specifically that's doing the bombing. But you got Caucasian people shooting and killing people and dropping bombs on other people in other lands, specifically other ethnic people of color, indigenous people at that. They're always terrorizing, enslaving, and colonizing other lands and stealing wealth and resources from these other peoples and manipulating shit. Meanwhile, but when these other ethnic people of color specifically stand up for themselves, and you should take note of this, so-called black people, people of color, melanated people, Nubian people, you all should take note. When they encounter disrespect, when they feel like they're bullied and harassed and picked on, and when their lives feel threatened, they fight back. Something that we should fucking do. Fuck all that marching. Fuck all that forgiving. Fuck all that praying. We need to fight back. We need to look at the Malcolm X model. Defend yourself. Everybody has the right to defend themselves. The minute we try to own a fucking gun, we gotta go through all this red tape and shit. And we're always getting denied. But everybody else can own a gun. Meanwhile, Caucasian people can own the most guns and kill everybody else, and that's okay. You know what I mean? My thing is, we had tragedies. My people have suffered 500 fucking years of terror. 500 years of harassment, sexual harassment, rape, being brutalized, being lynched, being murdered. And even the people who live to tell about it and talk about them being victims of this brutal, evil ass assault and battery, and their bodies mutilated and they're scarred for life psychologically and physically and mentally and emotionally, even spiritually. Oh, we need to get over it. No, we ain't getting over shit. Fuck that shit. Until you tell the Jews to get over it, until you Caucasian people, Americans, and even British people get over it. When shit happens to y'all need to get over it. I mean, the shit that has happened, even though I'm looking at another attack that happened out in Australia, that happened out in Paris, France specifically. When shit happens to places in Europe and America, y'all need to get over it and follow your own fucking advice. I don't want to see the world stop. I don't want to see y'all crying and moaning and talk about how unfair and how evil these people are who did you wrong. Meanwhile, you're a fucking hypocrite. You're doing everybody else wrong. You're doing everybody wrong every goddamn day. You know what I mean? Y'all need to get over and move on and forgive. Caucasian people, you have yet to forgive. I mean, even though 9/11 was an inside job done by other Caucasian people, because y'all run the government, y'all want us to talk about, well, there's a few token Negroes and a few token Asian people and a few token Indian people and there's a few token Latino people and there's a few Caucasian women and gay people, you know, who work with the government. I don't give a fuck. And the majority of all Caucasian males doing shit. It's Caucasian people. The government is run by Caucasian people, so you are to blame. Y'all caused 9/11, and then you want to blame it on the Arab people? Y'all always doing some shit to everybody else, but then you want to, and then when specifically people of color, specifically black people, African Americans, Nubian people, melanated people, whatever terminology you refer to us, or even fucking niggers. Now the fact of the matter is, y'all victim blame us and say it's our fucking fault. Meanwhile, you people let these other ethnic groups come in, or these other Caucasian foreigners come in and put drugs in our fucking in the so-called black community, and bring in guns and take away jobs and opportunities, steal resources, disenfranchise us, deny people opportunity based on where they live and where they reside at when they didn't choose to be there. You know what I'm saying? Most of the people who live where they live, they live there because that's the only place they can fucking afford. They're not living there by choice. And even if they try to live in certain areas, they're denied and they're fucking redlined. And that's what gets me hot, you know. And it's all based on how much money you have. You know, when y'all have and the thing that kills me on Caucasian folks is that when other people do violence on y'all, even when Caucasian people do so-called white-on-white crime on each other, which is an issue in your community, so-called white-on-white crime is an issue in the Caucasian community. When other Caucasian people make jokes of doing harm to another Caucasian person, oh, everybody's up in arms. I find that interesting. When someone outside of the so-called white community do you wrong, do you dirty, or harm or kill you, oh, you want the world has to stop and everybody got to give a shit? But meanwhile, you motherfuckers are always, you pale-skinned monkey devils, which I call you caucasoid, pale-skinned monkey, sick-ass devils, always doing shit to other people, especially so-called non-Caucasian people. So-called non-black, so-called non-white people, what I meant to say. When non-Caucasian, y'all always victimize people who don't look like you. For some odd reason, y'all get a fixation of victimizing people who got melanin in their fucking skin and pigmentation. You're always victimizing people of color and sometimes other ethnic people of color. When it comes to, I mean, y'all go after and harass, terrorize, brutalize, rape, lynch people of color. Like it's going out of style. Y'all kill and murder and commit genocide on other ethnic people of color and the main people of color, specifically so-called black people, and that's okay. And you always rationalize that when you kill another non-Caucasian person, oh, it's all good. When you kill a so-called black person, oh, it's all good. Oh, and then you always making excuses. Oh, you always, and then and it kills me about, sick about you motherfuckers is that to the people who do this. Now, if you're a Caucasian person watching this, if you're not racist, do not comment. Do not talk to me. Do not argue and debate with me because I don't debate with undercover racist. I'm just telling you right there. If you're not racist and you don't got that type of mindset, and you care about people, and you talk about, and you got so-called black friends, or you got somebody black in your so-called family, or you got a so-called black boyfriend, black girlfriend, so-called black spouse. Let me say this. Let me tell you all this. If you're not racist, what are you doing to end and eradicate Caucasian supremacy? What are you doing on your part to end racism? And are you calling out race? Are you calling out those who are racist within your group? Those who are fucking thugs and terrorists and like terrorizing people of color in your group, are you calling them out? Those who practice discrimination, you know, those, you know, because you Caucasian folks that got connections. A lot of times they're racist people within your family. You know that, or people that you associate yourself who are Caucasian and got the same pale skin just like you do. Y'all know they're fucking racist. You know the conversations they have when they talk about other ethnic groups of color, when they talk about non-Caucasian people, and specifically people of color, specifically so-called black people. Y'all know how they talk. Y'all know how they talk about so-called black people like a fucking dog. Y'all always talking about us and always obsessing over us for some goddamn reason. My thing is, are you checking those motherfuckers who do discrimination, who practice racism, who joke about killing and lynching a nigger, or those who say the word nigger, or those who make who say those subtle racist terms? You know what they are. I'm not going to tell you how I know, but you know what they are. And those who are conscious know what the fuck they are. And always fucking other people over. Do you call that shit out? Do you hold them accountable? Are you making sure that other children are not being taught to be racist, specifically against people like me, against so-called black people? Are you doing that? If you're not doing that, then you need to have some damn seats. I don't want to hear what the fuck you got to say. Oh, you're not racist, but I got so-called black friends and I got black lovers. That don't mean shit. Because a lot of those people those so-called black friends, lovers, and you know, those who are in your family or those who are your fucking so-called black spouse, a lot of those motherfuckers are just a bunch of self-hating, step and fetch, mammy, Uncle Ruckus, Aunt Jemima, Negro bedwench, Negro preen, self-hating coons. Okay, a lot of y'all those so-called black people that you hang around with are nothing more than a bunch of self-hating, Caucasian worshipping, bootlicking, step and fetch Negro peons who got a slave ass mentality and will do everything to please y'all and see y'all. They still see y'all as fucking massa, and they will do everything to make massa happy. A house nigger. Basically, does that ring a fucking bell? If you ain't doing shit to destroy the system of Caucasian supremacy and end racism and acknowledge that you got white privilege and you ain't trying to use your privilege to end racism and eradicate Caucasian supremacy, sit your ass down somewhere and shut up. Because you're part of the fucking problem. You know, I get so irritated. I mean, the stuff that I get every day on a daily basis, or the stuff I come across, or stuff that is sent to me, it's like I gotta me. It's just, my mind is just. I mean, my heart has hardened over the last few years. I mean, I really don't give a damn about what happened out in Manchester, what happened out in Australia, what happened in France. I mean, Caucasian being terrorized and killed. I actually get a joy seeing y'all suffer a lot of times. I take that back, a lot of times. When y'all suffer and get your nigger moment, when y'all encounter injustice and being treated unfairly, and when somebody of color is bold enough to challenge you and take your ass out and kill one of y'all motherfuckers, I smile. It's no different than these stupid ass, y'all no different than these stupid ass bitches who think they can talk to men any old kind of way, treat men like shit, be rude, mean and nasty, and outright disrespectful and clown a dude for saying hello and introducing himself, or you playing with a man's emotions and feelings, and then you want to you prick tease it, and then all of a sudden when that man harms that chick, beats that chick, rapes that chick, kills that chick, or do all the fucking above, and that woman gets killed and murdered, I mean, I feel good sometimes when I hear news like that. People say, "Oh, that's fucking evil," but hey, y'all create these evil ass people. Women, especially women, when they treat men like shit and do men dirty, do men wrong. And I'm not saying women don't do. I'm not saying men don't do women dirty and wrong. Don't get it twisted. It goes on both sides, but specifically women, because women are on their fucking pedestal and got all the choice to say so, and they think they can treat men like shit and do men dirty, and they can get away with it and put their hand, slap a man around, and he's not supposed to do shit and stand up for himself. And then when he does, oh, you want to make him the villain. You know, the thing is, you're no different. So when a person of color, specifically a black person, or sometimes another ethnic person of color who does not want to kiss a Caucasian person's butt and suck their dick and eat their pussy and all that crap, and stands up and checks your ass for you fucking them over, doing some underhanded, wicked, evil ass shit to them, because Caucasian people are going to these other nations, these other ethnic people of color, and other people of color, whether it be in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, terrorizing these people, and even to this day in North America, y'all still raping and pillaging the fuck out of Native Americans. I'm sorry about that, Native Americans. You know, you go to these other lands and you molest the children, you have sex, you rape the children, you rape the women, you rape the men too. You steal land, you steal resources, you steal wealth, you take credit, and you steal the culture. Your culture vultures, your opportunists. And then you do the same shit, specifically more so towards so-called black people in North America and in South America, but specifically more so North America. And then when a so-called black and brown person has enough of your shit and is tired of taking your shit, and they want to check your ass and get even, all of a sudden when they do something, or they drop a bomb on your ass, or they stab one of your children, kill one of your children, stab them, beat them up, or kill or another Caucasian person, male or female, young or old, straight or gay, you know, shoot at them, drop bombs on you people, all of a sudden you want to cry and you want to cry, you're the victim, and you want the world to stop, the world to stop for you and give a shit? Fuck no. But I do admit, I will give the Middle Easterners, the Arabs, the Asians, and the Indians, and sometimes the Latinos, specifically the Mexicans, credit when they get sick and tired of you fucking bullying them and fucking them over, and they gotta grin and chin and kiss your ass, and I mean, to you Caucasian folks, and especially, and sometimes you Jew motherfuckers, because y'all Jew motherfuckers are some wicked ass people. You're no different than the typical Anglo-Saxon, the so-called Jew that is. Because you're always doing mean shit to so-called black people who done nothing to you. And y'all participated and benefited off the slave trade your damn selves. So when I hear I don't want to hear you crying about your fucking Holocaust and talk about accusing other people of anti-Semitism when you're fucking racist yourself. Okay? But what I'm saying is that when a so-called black and brown person is getting sick and tired of kissing your ass and trying to fit in with your system and all that stuff, trying to assimilate, be nice to you, and sick and tired of you slapping them around, bullying them, stealing from them, robbing them, raping the women and children, and even raping the men, sodomizing that particular group of people, and sick and tired of being terrorized and fucking being murdered by y'all. And then one day when they had enough, and all of a sudden they want to get even and retaliate, and all of a sudden when you get the brunt of the pain and feel the fucking wrath, all of a sudden you want to cry victim. Take no so-called black people in America. These other people these other ethnic groups of color don't take no shit from nobody. That's what even Caucasian people, you know damn well don't take no shit from nobody. That's what we gotta understand. The minute Caucasian people feel the wrath of retaliation, now they want to cry and bitch and moan. Like, y'all need to get over it and move the hell on. Karma's a fucking bitch. Y'all, especially you Christian Caucasian folks, Y'all talk about karma. You talk about doing to others on us and doing to others as you want others to do unto you. We shouldn't kill nobody. We should love everybody. But meanwhile, you killing and terrorizing people and being racist and discriminating and raping and pillaging and lynching and committing murder and genocide on other people who don't look like you. You know, but the minute something happens to y'all, you want the world to stop and care about you. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? I'll start caring when you start caring about my people's pain. So how about you start talking about the issues that when you got Caucasian people, especially the younger ones, being racist, where did it come from? It came from the old generation, previous generation. When you got them planting nooses and then all of a sudden they get bold and emboldened to lynch a so-called black person or shoot and terrorize and kill another black person, mock and make fun of them, and then be a dead so-called dead black person who was murdered by a Caucasian supremacist. You know, and they want to be like Trayvon Martin, they want to be like Tamir Rice, they want to be like Sandra Bland, and then all of a sudden want to do all the blackface, discriminate against other people. Other people, specifically people of color, treat them unfairly, fuck them over, steal from them, you know, be dismissive of their pain and suffering and plight and struggle. You know, I'm just, you know, no. How about you acknowledge the fact that you have so-called black people being terrorized and murdered every goddamn day? Even in their community, even in their own communities, y'all terrorize and fuck with us every goddamn day. Even if you live in the suburbs and we're like the only so-called few black kids who enter your school system, y'all fuck with us and torment us and make our lives a living fucking hell. I'm surprised that you don't see a lot of so-called black kids shooting up schools, particularly these so-called white schools. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised. You know, because I'm not gonna lie, man. When I was picked on and bullied, I thought about. The thing is, I didn't feel like shooting a bunch of people, but I felt like the people who did me wrong, oh, you're going to get it. But, you know, I believed in that. But at the time, I believed in all that forgiveness, karma, fuck all that shit. So-called black people, we need to stop forgiving and praying and all that shit. But I will not lie. I do enjoy and take pleasure when these motherfuckers suffer. When karma hits them in the face, specifically Caucasian people, you know, I do smile when they get their karma, when they get their nigger wake up call. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, I do feel happy. You know, but I mean, why? But until America and even in Britain, America and UK acknowledges the fact that racism exists. You know what I'm saying? And that how you have people of color, specifically so-called black people, being terrorized, being tortured, being bullied, being brutalized, raped, sodomized, lynched, and murdered on a daily basis. You know, rather be by a fucking rope or a fucking gun or a fucking bomb. Until they start acknowledging that and start acknowledging our fucking tragedies instead of making jokes. I mean, where was the outrage when Dylan Roof, I'll give you another example, when Dylan Roof walked into that church, that so-called black church in South Carolina, everybody was making jokes. Everybody was donating millions of dollars to Dylan Roof and making excuses for his fucking behavior and making him an honorary so-called white man and talk about, I read comments talk about, oh, I'm glad he killed them niggers. That's what I see when my people are murdered. When I see these comments, I know they're Caucasian people, and sometimes they're self-hating handkerchief-head Negro Peen coons, you know, co-signing that we be murdered, that my people, that so-called black people, be murdered and killed and tortured and raped and just inhumanely murdered to death, and their families too, or be lied on. Or be lied to and be lied on, be falsely accused of something and get in trouble for it or get killed for it. I'm just tired of I'm tired of us being victims of these hate crimes. And I mean, out in Idaho, you had a teenage kid. Not a kid. He's not a kid. You had a young man, anally raped a so-called black teenage boy who's disabled and rape him with a coat hanger and shove it up his ass and kick it in. And everybody was making jokes. These Caucasian kids, that the football team was all Caucasian, were making jokes and laughing at his pain. You know, when we're being bullied and harassed, tormented, tortured, and just brutalized and beaten, lynched and killed, everybody laughs at us. Everybody laughs at our tragedy. When we're getting our homes bombed, when we're getting our places bombed and shot at, and homes being burnt down by these Caucasian terrorists, because that is a terroristic act. When we're being falsely accused of crimes we didn't commit, and that Caucasian person, especially a Caucasian female, is a fucking liar and an habitual liar, and nothing happens. When Caucasian people, whether it rather be a Caucasian civilian or a fucking cop, kills us and they get off, there's no outrage. Everybody sides with the Caucasian terrorist. But these Caucasian people who kill cops, that's just business as usual. Business as usual. When a Caucasian person wants to make jokes about killing another Caucasian person, sometimes, especially like specifically Kathy Griffin, when she made that image, when she took a picture of her holding Donald Trump's head, everybody was talking about how ignorant and how mean and insensitive that was. And but when people make jokes about Barack Obama and Michelle Obama and talk about doing harm to him and his family, and everybody making jokes about doing harm, nothing happened to those pale-skinned monkey devils, these Caucasian people who did that shit. Rather they be cops, work within government, politicians, or everyday people. Caucasian people just took pleasure in just making Barack Obama life as a living hell. Even though he kind of brought it on himself by cooning, buffooning, kissing their ass. You know, I really don't have no sympathy on that aspect. But the fact of the matter is, I'm sick and tired of Caucasian people in America, period, America and the UK, being dismissive and insensitive to so-called black people's plight and pains and sufferings. And then we're told to get over and let it go. But these motherfuckers, when stuff happens to them, especially when a person of color or another ethnic person of color does them wrong or does them dirty or does harm and kills them, they want to cry and bitch forever. They don't want to let it go. They don't want to forgive. They don't want to pray. They want to get into a fucking war. You know, I'm just tired of the hypocrisy. And then they're talking. And then all of a sudden in South Carolina, they want to remove the Confederate flag because that is a symbol of Caucasian supremacy and terrorism and thugging, and just how and does represent the oppression of so-called black people in the South specifically, and even in the North. Because if you go to New Jersey and Pennsylvania, you can still see Confederate flags. Trust me, especially South New Jersey. Okay, and then in New Orleans, and they talk about removing the statues of these Caucasian supremacists. All of a sudden, they want to all these Caucasian people want, and then the client and all these other hate groups and Nazis want to terrorize and talk about killing so-called black people, killing niggers, but that's okay. But the media glosses over that when they showed on video in Mississippi where a group of Caucasian teens ran over a so-called black man in the middle of the night in Mississippi. It was all rationalized, and everybody made excuse. And then these Caucasian folks, and especially the ones who claim to be non-racist, made excuses and defended that racist. So it makes them a racist. I'm just tired of the selective outrage from Caucasian people. I'm tired of them bitching when they don't get their fucking way. I'm tired of them bitching. Meanwhile, we never got up. My people and myself included has never gotten their fucking way. Was never born with a silver spoon in their fucking mouth, like they have been. Never been coddled and pampered and spoiled rotten with material possessions and status and being looked a certain way, being all because they look certain, all because they got pale skin, all because they got brown hair or red hair or blonde and blue eyes and green eyes and even gray eyes. And sometimes black eyes. But most of the time they got green and blue eyes on the sun. They are worshipped and they are treated well, and everybody respects them because of who they are. even though they have not done nothing good in this world to get respect. And people want to say, well, you're saying people are morally superior to Caucasian people. Well, let me say this. If you look at history, you decide who's more morally superior, who cares about other people. And what I can say is, so-called black people has cared about everybody, all people, and we always believed all lives matter. But unfortunately, when it comes to Caucasian people and even these other ethnic groups of color who don't identify as so-called African or black, they don't give a shit about so-called black people, and they believe black lives don't matter. They believe so-called black lives don't fucking matter, and we don't deserve no love and no respect and no humanity. You know what I'm saying? They think they like to laugh at our pain and suffering and all that stuff. And then when they get treated unfairly, all of a sudden they want us to help them out and fight their fucking battles. And I'm telling the so-called black people, stop doing that. Don't fight their fucking battles. Don't fight their fights. You do not fight for men's issues. But damn sure to women of color, do not fight for women's issues. Do not fight for so-called white women's issues. That's because women's issues is so-called white women's issues. Do not fight. Do not support feminism. Don't fight for these feminist groups. Don't fight for the gay community. Don't fight for the Hispanic community. Don't fight for the Latino community. Don't fight for the Asian community. Don't fight for the East Indian community. And do not fight for the Native American community. And don't fight for the Middle Eastern community, specifically the Arabs. We need to stop. We as so-called black people need to stop fighting for everybody. When these other motherfuckers do not fight for us, nobody cares about us. Nobody cares about what we go through and experience. Nobody wants to nurture us and heal us and help us out and make sure we prosper and work together so we can all live in love, harmony, and peace. Nobody gives a shit about so-called black people. So we as so-called black people we need to start loving each other, start respecting each other, and start taking care of one another and treating each other right. Because we are all of what we got. We just need to mind our own business, and whatever happens to everybody else, fuck them. We need to worry about us and care about us. We need to be selfish like that. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, people. I wish we can care about everybody. Until people care about us, until people start caring about people like me and start caring about my people, then maybe I'll give a damn one day. But fuck everybody else. And fuck them people out in Manchester, UK, in Manchester, England, London. Fuck all them people in Europe. Because I really don't give a fuck about what they go through and what has happened to them in Australia and these other Western nations. Until these other people start caring about so-called black people and black issues, and look at and see that our lives, so-called black lives, matter just like their lives matter. Until they start giving a fuck about us, then maybe we should give a then maybe until they start until these other people start giving a fuck about us, then maybe one day I can say we should give a fuck about them. But it's the way I see it, they don't give a fuck about us, so we shouldn't give a fuck about them. Okay, that's my take. What's yours? I'm out. Peace.